Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is DeVita and this is the B Minimum. Alright, so today I am getting ready to take my passport pictures because my passport expires next year. So I'm like, you know what? Let me get a jump start on things. So I'm gonna do just a light makeup look because I want to buy last. My current passport picture looks so bad. I got it 10 years ago, so I look very young. And when I go to different places, I always have to go like this because I actually am smiling in my passport picture. So it's time for a new picture and I want to look cute. Also, I have locks in my hair now, so you know, it's a lifestyle change now. So I'm excited to take these pictures. All right, so I'm gonna do a light look, and I'll just also talk about how 2024 went for me and just kind of some things that I learned in 2024. So yeah, let's get to it. Like I said, I'm doing a light look. I'm gonna start off with my eyebrows. That's usually what I start off with first. And I'm gonna look at my phone for my notes and what I learned. Oh yes, okay, 2024 has some gems, okay? So the most recent lesson that I would say that I learned is, also I'm looking over here because this is where my mirror is, but y'all right here, you'll be okay. 2024, let's see. So the biggest lesson that I learned recently, God's grace is sufficient. And I didn't understand what that meant, or it wasn't really, I see why it's hard to do makeup and talk because I just want to sit. I didn't understand what God's grace is sufficient meant until my life was severely tested in it. For me, it was just kind of like, oh, you know, God is enough. But when you really, your back is against the wall, you really see how God is enough. That's all you need. When you don't know who to call, God is enough. When you don't have money, God is enough. When you don't know what's going to come next, God is enough. So that verse is 2 Corinthians 10 verse 9. And that really just that's really been sticking with me for the past 2 months, I would say. But it's going to carry me over to 2025 because I realize a lot of my life I spend worrying about what's happening, worrying about what's next. But God is like, I knew this would happen in this moment, so trust me and let go of what you think. So yeah, God's grace is sufficient. Okay, if you don't learn nothing, if you don't read your Bible, that's the verse that needs to carry you for the rest of your life. God's grace is sufficient. Obviously, God loves you, but His grace is also sufficient. Okay. So yes. Oh Lord, I don't know how I'm about to do this because the way I like to yap, but yapping requires a level of concentration in its own. But like I said, I need to do a light beat because I can't go too crazy. Oh, okay. God can do a lot in a week than He can in a whole year. That testimony is coming soon, but just know, when you really trust God and put your faith in God, He can do exceedingly abundantly all that you could ever ask for. So this year has definitely been a roller coaster of emotions for me. And sometimes I just really felt like giving up. And I was just like, okay, God, you are a way maker, but there's no way being made for me right now. So I was just very, very confused on why life was the way it was. But a lot of things had to shake before it fell into place. And I also believe just putting my heart's posture in a better place also helped me allow for God to move in my life. Because if I feel like some of the blessings that He gave me this year, if my heart posture wasn't in the correct posture, I wouldn't have appreciated it as much, and God would have been like, okay, you're very ungrateful. So God could do a lot in a week that He could do in a whole year, and I've seen it, I've experienced it, and I'm so grateful. So I'm going to prime my face with e.l.f.'s Power Grip Primer and also line my eyebrows next. And the next thing that I learned this year is the bait of Satan is offense, okay? I'm so grateful that Megan Ashley decided to share her journey and just books that she's been reading and resources. And one of the books that she always talks about is The Bait of Satan. And I finally read it this year. Listen, game changer. I would advise any and everybody believe it or not, to read The Bait of Satan, because it really changes the way you look at people, the way you look at your circumstances, the way you look at life in general. It allows you to see how a lot of times we're offended, but we're not offended. We're just offended for fun, basically. Like, a lot of times we stay in offense because that's what the enemy wants us to. The enemy wants us to be divided and not unified. So we stay in offense, and that's why we're easy to cut people off. That's why, like, we have jealousy and things like this against people, because we're offended. And I didn't realize being offended, like, did so much harm. So just knowing that, I kind of navigate situations differently. I'm more quick to forgive as opposed to hold on to things. I'm more quick to kind of just be like, okay, like, I'm more quick to communicate as well, so that way I don't stay in offense. Because a lot of times, listen, one thing about me, you do me wrong, I'm gonna remember it for the rest of your life. I'm gonna remember it for the rest of my life, okay? Like, listen, and I don't play about that, okay? However, I understand that that's what the enemy wants me. Like, God, if God can forgive, and God can forgive and forget, then I can as well, especially the way we be doing God dirty. So I feel like if God can forgive, then so can I. So I've kind of just been leading my life in that manner of just, like, making sure I don't hold on to offenses. That's kind of how I live my life. So that is an amazing lesson that I've learned this year, and I'm so grateful for it, because a lot of people should have been gone. But however, by the grace of God, I read that book, and I have more grace on y'all, because y'all deserve God's grace. Yeah. All right, let's get into these brows. Listen, my eyebrows are cousins, okay? They cousins, but, like, they the cousins that grew up together, like, since birth, okay? They ain't sisters, they ain't twins, they cousins. Because this eyebrow, when I was, like, 5 or 4 or whatever, I bumped my head against a dresser, so I have, like, a scar. I have a scar on my eyebrow. So whenever my eyebrow lady does my eyebrows, it's always a struggle for this eyebrow. But, hey, God is good. All right, and I'm gonna line the top with my foundation. God will make a way. I don't have a problem doing brows. That was probably the first things that I figured out how to do. When I first started, it was very hard for me, but now, listen, my brows come out really good. All right, so another thing that I learned this year is grief sucks. I knew grief sucked from, like, the beginning. However, it's like, I really know grief sucks, because for me, grieving, for me, I like getting over stuff. I like to just be over stuff. So in my head, I'm like, okay, like, I'm gonna grieve for about a year or whatever it may be. I'm gonna grieve for a year and I'm gonna be good. However, grief isn't linear, and also grief is just the loss of anything really. So that could be, oh my God, like, I lost my favorite shirt. That's grief in itself, because now I'm beating myself up. I'm thinking, like, okay, like, what could I have done to prevent this? You know, things like that. So imagine when it comes to, like, people. So it's like, I'm grieving friendships, I'm grieving relationships, I'm grieving just people as a whole, and it sucks. Because when I think I'm over something, I'm not. And sometimes I don't even have to be triggered per se. It's just, I'm grieving. And sometimes, like, I'll just be talking to somebody and then I'll just shut down completely, and it's very noticeable. However, I don't know anything else to say, because in that moment when I'm grieving, like, I don't even want to talk. I just want to be alone. And grieving makes me, like, isolate myself a lot, because I just want to, like, be my feelings and be like, okay, like, how did this happen? But my therapist said that, especially with grieving, like, I don't have to agree with it, but I do have to accept whatever happened. So I'm still in that phase of accepting whatever has happened, to where, like, I'm grieving. But these brows, though, the brows eat, okay? But yeah, this year has taught me that, like, grieving doesn't stop. Grieving, like, it comes in cycles and waves, but I don't think it'll ever just, like, go away. Like, nothing really fixes grief. You just have to keep living. You just keep living through the grief, but nothing really stops it. It's not like, it doesn't stop. So, and I don't like that. That sucks a lot. But it is what it is. I guess that's part of life. Part of life. I gotta make sure this thing blended. Okay. Okay, so I'm doing my face. I don't know. Sometimes I do my face in a certain order. Sometimes I don't. Really just depends. But do I want to do my eyes last? No, I kind of want to do my eyes now. But I don't remember how I do my eyes. And I need something light. So I'm just going to try something and hope for the best, okay? So usually if I'm doing like a full beat, I do concealer here. So I don't know why I'm doing concealer right now. But let's hope for the best, okay? All right, another lesson that I learned this year is I am beautiful in all forms. For me, self-love is a journey, you know. It's, oh, y'all seeing my nails. Listen, my nail appointment is coming up, okay? My nail appointment is coming up. It's next week, ready for the new year. I took the old nails off because I just did, they were irking me. So, judge your mama, don't be. So this is we listen and we don't judge. We see and we don't judge. The nails, it's okay. Anyways, yeah, so a lesson that I learned this year is I'm beautiful in all forms. Life itself has been a journey of self-love. So there's been like stages of self-love, I guess you can say, that I've been going through. And this year I feel like I've learned for sure that like, is somebody here? Please hold. Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, this year has taught me a different level of self-love for myself. And the main part of that is really my locks. I feel like a lot of black women, we hold a lot of our identity in our hair, or a lot of our beauty in our hair and just the way we look. Which makes sense. Like that's just how we've kind of been accustomed to. So for me, being natural and having my hair out is very like, it's new for me. I never expected to, ooh, I look good. I never expected to be in this phase because one thing about me, creamy crack down. I loved me a relaxer, okay? Like me being relaxed was my favorite thing, okay? You really just wake up and go. However, I'm not gonna lie to you, because I suck at maintaining my hair, my relaxer was given like greasy. Sometimes, I can't lie. But anyways, I learned this year that I am beautiful in all forms because like even with my microlocks and my natural hair being out, like I'm still able to love myself. I'm still able to look at myself in the mirror and be like, girl, the baddest, okay? And I feel like in another season of my life, having these locks, I wouldn't have felt that way. Also, I feel like our hair is a form of validation as well from people. It's like, oh girl, your hair looks real good, blah, 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 blah. But with microlocks, you also attract different, as a woman, you know, your hair attracts different people or whatever. And I feel like with this hairstyle, like, what am I trying to say? I'm beautiful. The point is I'm beautiful. I'm trying to say that I am beautiful, and I feel like in another season, I wouldn't have been able to see that because I was searching for validation outside of myself. But now that I'm not, and I'm just comfortable with myself because of who I am, it helps me out a lot. It's helped me out a lot. So yeah, I'm just really grateful that I've learned that I've experienced that I'm able to be like, okay, I am beautiful regardless of if I have a sew-in in, regardless if I have knotless braids in, regardless if I have a relaxer in, like I'm beautiful regardless. I've been bald, so it's always phases to me, and I appreciate how I love myself through every phase. So I'm just grateful for that and grateful to see like how I continue to just love myself. But yeah, this year I definitely learned that like I am beautiful regardless of what's on my head, regardless of what I wear, regardless of like how people see me, like I am beautiful. So I really appreciate that lesson. So I was just using the Fenty cream. I'm technically not supposed to use this or my my eyelids, but I was trying something out. Now I'm going over with this bronzer. I love this bronzer. It's by CoverGirl. It's perfect. So now I'm going over that on my eyelids. I like to just, my eyeshadow is usually just bronzer because that's how I like it. Another lesson that I learned this year is consistency will take you far. That was a hard lesson that I had to learn this year. In my head, I'm a consistent person. Like, I feel like I'm very consistent, but I think I'm consistent until I stop. I'm consistent until I'm not consistent anymore, and I didn't realize that about myself. And that was like one of the hardest lessons I had to learn, because I'm just like, wait a minute, like, I'm such a consistent person. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, when I start things, I finish them, and I feel like this year I learned, like, no, you're not. Like, I'll start things and then I'll get discouraged and then I just won't do it. I won't pick it up again. Like, I have Instagram pages that I've created and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and then I just stop because I guess I don't see the fruits of my labor soon enough, or I just kind of get discouraged, or I just stop. And I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't realize how. Oh, I gotta go find my setting spray. Give me a second. All right, so I'm spraying with this NYX matte finish so I can just put this foundation in my skin. Okay. Yeah, so I learned that I'm not as consistent as I thought I was, and that was like a big like shock to me, because when you think you something and then you realize you're not, it's like, wait a minute, who am I? So this year, I didn't learn this lesson though until Q3, Q4, I would say. And when I started being consistent, just in like posting on YouTube, what else am I good? Posting on YouTube, editing, and just other things with like my business as well, I realized like, girl, like, consistency maybe is key. I ain't gonna lie to you, because there are times I wanted to give up, but I just keep going. Like right now, like me posting on YouTube consistently, who are you? Especially when I've been wanting to be on YouTube for the longest, but I've just been so afraid to post content and just get out of myself. But this year I also realized that people are gonna like judge you anyways, but also like, why do I care? Like the Bible says, am I pleasing God or am I pleasing man? I only have an audience of one. So even if you're watching this, you are not my audience. I have an audience of one. That's it. And that is God. So why am I worried about people? Like, what can y'all do to me? I don't fight though. Hear me out. But it's like, I shouldn't be worried about people. Like, y'all are not my audience. My audience is God. So everything I'm doing needs to be pleasing to God. And as long as I know I'm pleasing God, I am okay at the end of the day. So yeah, but consistency is key, but also God's grace is key too. So it's like, it goes together. So consistency and God's favor, I would say. So being consistent and then having God's favor is like the like best duo in the world, okay? So yeah, it's a lesson that I learned. No, I'm doing concealer. I learned to be present. I am not a present person, okay? I am always thinking about, tomorrow, 10 years from now, 2 years from now. Like, being present is not my thing. And that messes me up a lot, because I kind of ruin my present by thinking about the future, or I ruin my present by thinking about the past. Listen, one thing about me, I will dwell on the past, okay? And I'm trying not to. Like, he's doing a new thing. How he doing a new thing, but you still thinking about the old? And we always complain about the children of Israel, but baby, I probably would have been right there with them in the wilderness. Because Egypt didn't have all these issues, okay? The past didn't have all these issues. It had its issues, but not the issues that I'm having right now. So I understand the children of Israel very much. Like, we are them. We are them. Yeah, so I'm learning still. I'm not there yet, but I'm learning to be more present, because worrying about the future does nothing. Like, I am so young, so hip, so cute, so fly, but I feel like I'm making myself older by thinking so far ahead, and I feel like I'm making myself so more, the D word, depressed, when I think in the past. So I'm just learning to be more present, especially in relationships with people, because I'm learning to be more present. So I'm really grateful for that. I also, this year I learned that relationship shift. Oh, please hold. I'm gonna do a little reverse contour action. I think I did those in the wrong direction. Whatever, life goes on. Hold on, let me put some contour on as well. I like to do both, so I can just blend them out together. Actually, I'm gonna do it after, whatever, life goes on. I learned that relationship shift, okay? it's like I knew that things change. I knew that people change. I know that we evolve, we grow. However, this year, oh my gosh, Q1 through 3, I felt the most isolated. I felt like people just left me, you know, and I don't know how to explain that, but I felt like people just left me this year. And I know that the phone works both ways. However, I was in such a dark place this year that people probably internalized my absence as like me changing. However, I was fighting for my life every single day. Like every single day I was fighting for my life. And a big part of that was me not being present, but also like spiritual things as well. So I felt like as I was fighting, you know, I felt like as I was fighting, I didn't really have much people fighting with me. And yeah, I could have told people. However, it's like when you're going through stuff, you don't always want to tell people things. You don't always want to be like, hey, you know, hope all is well, but you know, I'm fighting for my life right now. So it's kind of like, yeah. But relationships definitely shift, whether it's for good or bad. You know, there are seasons. There are seasons with people. And I had to come to terms with that. I understand that. And I kind of just, depending on the day, like I'm like, okay, it is what it is. But also some days I'm just like, dang, like what happened? So getting older always scared me though about that. Like getting older always made me fearful because it's like people are going to change. People are busier. People's lives are happening or going on or whatever. So it's like either you get with it or you kind of get left behind. So I am working now, I would say, on kind of fostering relationships because I am not in that dark place, I would say. However, it's kind of weird having to kind of like reintroduce yourself or kind of learn people again. So it's a process, okay? It's a process. It's definitely a process. So that's something I learned this year. Another thing I learned, and that it kind of goes into that, is I have to do the work. My therapist kept telling me I have to do the work, and I really hated that. Like in everything, friendships, relationships, business, healing, like you have to do the work. And I don't like the work. The work is like, I don't like it, but I appreciate it. So the work it's just hard. It's like, okay, like mending relationships or like trying to foster the ones that I have. It's like, okay, like I have to be intentional. I have to text people. I have to call people. Like, well, let me not say I have to. I'm going to say I get to foster relationships, you know, because some people don't. So with that being said, yeah, doing the work is work. Man, like I think for me, isolation, that's why isolation is so easy. Isolation is easier for me because I don't have to do work. I get to hide, I get to run, I get to just do whatever the heck I want to do. Like I don't have to like do the work in isolation. So I have to make myself come out of oh God, my bad. So I have to make myself come out of isolation sometimes so that way I can do the work. Because at the end of the day, nobody wants to be alone. I don't want to be alone. I don't know. But yeah, you got to do the work. I have to do the work. That's another thing that I've learned. I have to do the work. I look good though. I can't say that. Another lesson that I learned this year is, I've already known this, but this year showed me it like even more. Take care of your body. To take care of my body and my health is important. This year, like I said, I refer to my life in quarters, but Q1 and Q2, yeah, Q1 and Q2, I was like at my biggest. And I know people are like, oh my God, you're still so small. Yes, I get it. However, when you've lived your life being a certain like body type or weight, that's what you're used to. So for me, like I said, I was fighting for my life the first 2-3 quarters. So I kind of just let things go. Like I was still going to the gym every day, but I wasn't doing enough cardio. And also I just was like eating for fun, I guess you can say. So because of that, like I was the biggest I had ever been, and that was very scary for me. And my body was reacting that way. Like when I tell you I was going through it, like I was at the dermatologist like every other month. I was at the dermatologist like every month. There was always a new issue popping up with me, whether it be like seborrheic dermatitis, there was like skin issues I was having, there was like woman issues I was having. There's always something happening to me. And I just could not do it anymore. Mind you, I'm pescatarian. So I'm just like, okay, if I eat in this lifestyle, like I should be fine. But no. So when I did 75 medium, I would say that really changed my life in terms of health. I was eating more protein, as well as just eating in a deficit and eating to where my body really enjoyed it. I was eating more whole foods. I was cooking more. I was just eating better. I wouldn't say healthier, but I was eating better for sure. Healthier, yeah. I was walking more. Like I walked every morning for at least 30 minutes. I got 10,000 steps at least five times a week. And I was drinking at least half a gallon of water. So I feel like everything combined really, 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 really helped me out. And like a lot of issues that I was having, I'm no longer having anymore. Because I feel like my body was just needed like I put too much already. My body needed a reset. So because my body needed a reset, it really helped me in terms of like the woman issues I was having, just like my mindset as well. It helped with my mindset. It helped with me just kind of like getting out of my head, being more present. So like health all around is very, very important, whether it be like physical, spiritual, mental. I really learned that this year, that I have to be intentional, because growing up, like obviously you're young, like your body kind of like naturally like does whatever it needs to do, but as you get older, it's like, wait a minute, I need to be more intentional about what I'm eating, what I'm putting into my body. Like I need to be way more intentional about this stuff. So I learned that I have to be intentional now about like what I eat, how much I eat, where I'm eating, what time I'm eating. And it sucks, but listen, I like when people be like, oh my God, I thought you were 17. No. Oh my God, like I thought you were still in high school. I love that. I want to keep getting that forever. Okay, I want to keep getting that, and I need to take care of my body, my skin, so that I can't keep getting those compliments, because I don't like it, but I love it. When people say like, oh, I thought you were in high school. Maybe I be like, I pay bills. Yeah, okay. And then I think I'm almost done. I just have to put mascara on. I'm not gonna put powder. I'm not gonna put setting powder, because like I said, I'm really just going to take pictures and I don't want any flashbacks. So I'm gonna do like this light B. I love being bronze though, I'm letting you know that now. But yeah, I'm not gonna put too much on. This is just you know. May your bad days prove God is good. May your whole life prove that God is good. That's my favorite part. All right, and the last thing I guess I would say I learned this year is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Really that simple, okay? This year, like I said, has been, oh Jesus, did I miss? No, I didn't. This year has been a year. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, it's been a year, and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful that I didn't have to do it on my own. I'm grateful that I serve a God who doesn't let me fight my battles by myself, because if he did, I wouldn't be here. So I'm super grateful that he just continues to love me, cover me, keep me. And I'm excited for 2025, because all I know is his grace. His grace is what's going to get me through 2025. Like, I can already feel that. I can already see it. You know, I accomplished all the goals that I had for 2025. For the most part, I did, yes. The only one I didn't accomplish, but it wasn't my fault, I didn't get to go to Haiti this year. I really, really, really wanted to go for my birthday, but God had other plans, and my safety is way more important. So I will continue to support my culture in America, okay? Yeah, so that is it. I don't know if I'm gonna take you guys with me to get my passport, but I'm passport picture taken, or if I want to show you guys the end results. But if I don't, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. 2024 has been a great year. It's been a trying year. It's been a trying year, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Oh wait, actually I kind of want want to talk to you guys about that. The biggest lesson that I learned in 2024 is to try. And if I had to tell anybody anything going into the next year, is try. Try if you're gonna fail. Try even if you fail. Try even if you succeed. Just try. Trying is, I feel like trying is not encouraged, you know, like as an adult. Maybe as a kid, but not as an adult. But trying with fear and without fear is what's gonna get us to where we need to be. Trying is really just having faith, to be honest with you. Trying is believing that God will carry whatever it is to completion. So even if it doesn't work out the way you wanted it to, it worked out the way God wanted it to. So if I had to say anything, if I had to leave you with anything, it would be to try. Try. Whether you're afraid, do it. Whether you're not afraid, do it. Whether you're alone, do it. Whether you don't have the funds, do it. If God has given you the vision, then do it. And just trust him, just believe in him, and just be patient. Be patient. Oh, actually, be still. Be still and know that he is God. Be still. So, yeah, that's the biggest lesson I learned in 2024 is to be still, know that he is God, his grace is sufficient, and just to have faith that God he'll do it. But faith without works is dead. Never forget that. Having faith does not mean doing nothing. So that's why I said try. Trying is a action. So make sure you try in all that you do and just see where God takes you. But I hope you guys had an amazing year, and I will see you guys in 2025. See ya. Okay, what the face eats.
It's the way you take me up from down and place my feet on solid ground. Love how I feel when you're